Hey, look out. It's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe. Look who's back.
I know this guy is a rock star to us. He really, really is. Steve Arterburn is, he's a part of New Life Live and also New Life, and a teaching pastor at Northview Church in Carmel. It's Carmel, Indiana, isn't it? It's
not Carmel.
Is it Carmel?
Caramel.
Is to the left.
Oh,
right over there. Right over there. Well, yeah. Listen, Steve, first of all, welcome.
Thank you. I've been preparing for the interview, reading Someone You Love, Someone You Hate.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And so it begins.
You're welcome.
I don't know why. I don't always do this with guests, but I looked on Wikipedia at Steve.
Oh, boy.
And I read he's been everywhere for years. He's had so many books and so many videos and interviews. Steve was actually featured. If this is correct, I know it's first, I believe, the Bible, then Wikipedia. Steve was quoted in Rolling Stone and GQ magazine. How cool is that?
Well, I wasn't quoted. We had a feature story about every man's battle in both of those publications, and they were, and the New York Times, and they were favorable.
Wow,
that's very surprising, actually. Wow.
Yes.
Do you have copies of those? I would love to see those. I'm gonna have to. I don't know how far back was that.
Oh, it must have been 20 years ago. I can get some yellow papered copies. Happy to do that.
Pull them out of the bird cage. They're under there somewhere.
GQ, Rolling Stone, and New York Times. To have anything favorable in those, that's pretty amazing.
Wow. Yeah, that is amazing.
Well, they must have trusted you anyway to go ahead and get with you and talk about it. And they were favorable. And no doubt, I mean, people checking out these magazines, I mean, honestly, I mean, they're not looking for Rick and Dan. They're not looking for Steve Arterburn. But Steve Arterburn got there in that platform, and no doubt somebody got ministered to, right?
Well, I think so. You know, it was back when Every Man's Battle was being passed around. You know, pastors were buying boxes of it and giving it to their men. And the original source, New York Times, discovered that there were these guys on college campuses that were committing to not be sexual in their dating life. And it was, and then they went and interviewed them, and they weren't weird or strange. They were just guys that had some standards. And so that's when Rolling Stone and GQ picked up on that article in the New York Times, and the rest is history.
Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Let's way to go again, Steve. Pastor Steve with us, New Life Live. You can hear that here at Faith Talk Atlanta on WNIV 970.
By the way, Rick, on Wikipedia, it also mentioned that my daughter and I were on Wheel of Fortune and that we won nothing. So that's there.
I didn't see that. Were you really there or no?
No, we did. She wanted her and her boyfriend to be on, but it was family week. And so I flew out and auditioned with her. And I knew we'd make it because she's bright and beautiful, and then I was from out of town. They're always looking for people out of town rather than in California.
Right.
And so we didn't have our finest moments on Wheel of Fortune.
So you hear I want to buy a vowel, and you kind of cringe. Does it bring back post-traumatic stress? Or
I may be the first one that wanted to buy a number.
I love it.
Steve Arterburn with us. I'm sorry I missed that one, because as old as I am, I do watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, and then I go to bed. So it's all good. Yeah. We'll have to see if we can find that on YouTube somewhere. Steve Arterburn with us as always. All right, New Life. We talked about this before we went live. You have some really cool stuff coming up. You've got Lumina. And Dan, Ruth Malhotra is actually speaking at Lumina, a friend of ours.
Yeah,
really, just good to see her sweet face there. And tell us about what's going on, the Rhine Cruise, the Lumina stuff. What's going on?
Well, we're in a partnership with Museum of the Bible. I'm a Bible guy, and I just love the museum. I was a founding donor of the museum, and I had an idea for it that I told one of their marketing people, and about I don't know, within 12 hours, I was talking with Steve Green. He and his family put about $1 billion there, and they really liked the idea. And the idea was to turn it from a museum into an experience that women would never forget. They have this amazing auditorium there that with graphics all over the ceiling and everywhere, and sound system like crazy. So, we've got all these great speakers coming in, and I could actually tell you who they are if I could find my sheet. But anyway, so women in churches are gathering together, filling up buses, going, some planes from California. And it's a one-day event, November 3rd and 4th. And it is just going to be an incredible experience at the museum. And then they're going to tour the whole Capitol area, show you where Scripture is sitting there in plain sight. And it's just, it's going to be an amazing, amazing event.
I can tell you, Jen Wilkin, Nicole C. Mullen, Lauren Green McAfee, and Ruth Mahatra are all speaking, and great people. Nicole C. Mullen, what a voice.
Yeah, and Nicole is actually going to speak and sing. And I tell you, if you've never heard her present, she's one of the most amazing singer presenters I've ever known in my life. And of course, these other speakers are, Jen Wilkin doesn't get much better than that.
Right.
And Lauren Green McAfee, she is an amazing author and speaker, really kind of the head of this whole movement there. And we're doing another one in March, but if you really want to experience the Bible in a whole new way, this is the event for you to come to, November 3rd and 4th. It's the same event on 2 separate days. You can either go the 3rd or the 4th. And we're very, very thrilled to be in this partnership with them. To find out more about it, you could just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
All right. And then you got the Rhine River Cruise coming up in October. Tell us about that.
Well, it's not that we procrastinated, but because of COVID, this thing is happening 2 years later. And we love doing stuff with our listeners. And every year we do some kind of event, except for when there's COVID. So we had this planned earlier, and now we're going to get to do it. We have the whole ship, so you don't have to worry about being contaminated by somebody's disease or faith. And, we're starting in Amsterdam, and we finish in Switzerland. And we're seeing all these great cathedrals. We're looking at some of the spiritual highlights of the whole itinerary there. We're going to Cologne, Germany, where they invented aftershave. They're just going to be so many things that people will love. We've got some cabins left. My daughter, Madeline, is going to go with me because my wife's busy with the other kids. And so I get a final trip with her. She's 31. And everybody at New Life has been working toward this. Mylan Yerkovich is going to present. I'm going to present. And many times on our trips, they say just being with the other people and the content of what's presented, that's the highlight versus what you see. But this ship is first class. And if you've ever thought about going to Europe for a river cruise, you couldn't pick a better time than it's coming up this October.
October 6th through the 13th, and you can go to the same place. You can go to newlife.com, or you can call the number that Steve mentioned earlier. Yeah, that looks like it's gonna rock. And that joke about the aftershave, I'm writing that down. I'm not going to give you any credit, but I'm going to use that later. Thank you very much. And Dan, does Steve look like that he's got some kind of light coming down from his head there?
He does have the kind of the Shekinah glory kind of behind him there.
Going on there.
You have to have a certain spiritual depth to be able to see that. And many do not. And some have said, is that a reflection off of your bald spot? Which I think probably is. So
no.
Steve Arterburn, New Life Live. You can hear him Monday through Friday at 2, Faith Talk Atlanta, 970 WNIV. Also, teaching pastor at Northview Church there in Carmel, Indiana, or Carmel.
Carmel.
Just depending on where you're from, right?
Yeah.
Pecan, whatever,
I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
And that is Father's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
And the best-selling adult study Bible is Every Man's Bible. And a lot of women say He never read the Bible till I gave him this Bible. It's a great gift. You can get that at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or Amazon or anywhere you want to. But I'm telling you, if you want to see your spouse, boyfriend, husband, whatever, look at and then read and get into the Bible. This Bible has stood the test of time. It's 20 years and it's on the top of the list. So that and Life Recovery Bible are always in the top 10 Bibles on the Evangelical Christian Publishing list. So just want to give you that little hint. I think you'll love it.
Great Bible
yeah. Don't forget about Father's Day. It's easy to forget about Father's Day, so don't forget.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, Steve actually sent us those Bibles last year, and they are amazing
with very loving, endearing inscriptions in them.
Yes,
it touched my heart.
I think I put "thanks for nothing."
It was something like that. Yeah,
that was pretty close.
Yeah.
Hey, also, Every Man's Battle coming up in June, Restore in July, and Intimacy. I could say that in Marriage. July the 22nd through the 24th. You can get all the details of those events on newlife.com. Steve, as always, we love you to pieces, man. We look forward to talking to you every single time. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
All right.
All right. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.